Hi, welcome to Buffzone. My name is Kyle Ringo. This is Ryan Thorburn. We cover University of Colorado athletics for the Daily Camera newspaper. Here to talk a little bit about spring football. The Buffs are back from spring break and resuming the second half of spring ball. And Ryan, what do you think we're really going to know about this team when the spring game arrives April 14th?
Not much, other than that they're very good at calisthenics and that a lot of them aren't here yet. We're going to have 28 freshmen arriving this summer, and I think the real storylines begin at that point. This is going to be a very young team next year. Obviously, they lost a lot of senior leadership from last season. They're a little short on bodies this spring. I think even if the doors were open and we were watching these practices, I don't think you'd learn a great deal because of the lack of numbers. One encouraging thing I would note, though, is that it seems like everyone you talk to says the strength on the offense is the offensive line. That's always a great place to start. And, there's going to be a new quarterback, and that was going to be the big battle this spring between Wood and Hirschman. It didn't materialize due to injury, but I think if the offensive line is sound, they can do more of what they want to do as far as running the ball and helping that new quarterback. So I think that's one positive development so far.
Yeah, you were talking about them being good at calisthenics or whatever. What Ryan's talking about is we can go to practice every day, but we can only be there for the first 20, 25 minutes or so, and that allows us pretty much to watch the Buffs warm up and maybe go through a few drills. So obviously you can't gain a lot of knowledge about position battles or who's looking good and that sort of thing from just that limited slice of what we're able to see on a day-to-day basis. You're pretty much able to see who shows up and who's participating in practice. And I will say that Coach John Embry is pretty good about answering questions. He doesn't really shy away from anything. So if you have some pointed questions about a particular player, trying to find out, exactly how he's looking and whatnot, John's pretty good about answering your questions and giving you some insight. So Coach Embry has been willing to work with us in that regard this spring. You mentioned Connor Wood, and we reported a couple weeks ago that Jordan Webb, the starting quarterback at Kansas the past couple of years, is considering transferring to Colorado. I've been trying to get in touch with him, and I haven't been successful so far, but rumor has it that he's decided to be a Buff, and that would add some intrigue to the quarterback battle in fall camp. If you take a guy who would have by far the most college experience of anybody on the roster, if you add Jordan Webb to the mix, you'd get a guy who has, I think roughly about 20 starts under his belt at the Big 12 conference level, which is obviously comparable to the Pac-12, and then he'd be going up against Nick Hirschman and Connor Wood, and neither one of them has really played much. Connor Wood hasn't played at all. Nick Hirschman's played very little last season, and he was injured. So throwing a third guy into that quarterback mix in August would really be interesting.
I think it's a great move for Webb. I mean, this is a Pac-12 school that needs a quarterback. Connor Wood, the way he comes off in interviews, the way I've seen him throw last year with the scout team and working with guys after practice, he has a really strong arm. I think everyone's kind of assuming he's going to be the guy, but we don't really know how he's going to play at this level. We know that he was a great high school recruit, and he seems to have some great leadership qualities, and that he works hard, extremely hard. So that's encouraging. But I think if you can get a guy with experience in here and really make this a serious competition, which Hirschman's injury problems have kind of deflated that a little bit, I think that would be great for CU. I mean, they need major competition at this position for the first time in a long time, and no controversy. They just need a bunch of guys to compete and for the best man to win. That's what this program really needs. So I think that's a great move for the kid from KU and for CU. I think it's great, and may the best man win.
Yeah, I think it also helps in another regard. I think these coaches were really hoping to not have to throw Shane Dillon, the freshman quarterback, right into the mix and And if Nick Hirschman can't stay healthy again this fall, and you have Connor Wood in there, and then some other guys, redshirt freshmen who haven't played, in John Schrock and Stevie Joe Dorman, I think the potential for Shane Dillon having to play next fall, or at least maybe playing, rose dramatically. So that's another aspect of positive development if Webb does join the program. It just provides a little depth and a little breathing room, so to speak. All right, so maybe we'll find out something interesting here about the team over the next week, and we'll come back, a week from now and talk some more spring football. But we'll definitely be back for the spring game when we, we'll have a little bit more concrete information to digest and talk about in preparation for the fall.
And the spring game is open to everyone, so that should be really an event this year. I mean, everyone's going to be curious, so, I think that actually adds to the spring game, don't you?
I would think so, and it's at night again, so, people have reason to come out. You can play golf during the day and show up at night.